candlelight still burning bright through the sycamores for me. That new mown hay with all its fragrance from the fields I used to roam. When I think about that moonlight on the Wabash, then I long for my Indiana, our dear Arcola home.
Thank you, Annette. And now, Pastor Ralph Easterhouse from St. John's Lutheran Church with our invocation.
We join in prayer. Lord God, we come before you asking for your presence, help, and protection for all. Bless all who are responsible for this event, fulfill their plans that they have made, and give them wise oversight for these activities. We thank you for all who have volunteered their time and service to make this event possible. We pray for all who will be competing in this evening's events and for all who have responsibilities for these competitions. Bless this community and all who have gathered to enjoy this event. Grant your protection and blessing to all, and receive our thanks and praise for your unending grace and goodness to us all. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. And now our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Annette. Thank you, all of you, for being out here and being part of Arcola 2016. We're just glad to have you here. Looks like we're going to be able to get right on to top and start moving along the way. I wanted to introduce to you the people up here who have been together. Down here far to my left is my buddy John Bannett. We've been together 43 years up here doing this. And we call him Mr. Encyclopedia because anything about tractor pulling, he knows it. And next to him here is my son, Eric Linnemeyer, and we call him by his Air Force call numbers, you know, Bandit 1. And he's up here and he's helping me now doing my stuff. And I'm Dan Linnemeyer, and the only thing they call me is don't call me late for dinner. So that's the whole point of the thing. We're glad to have you here.
Well, we're glad to have Eric up here because if I remember right, had this little ultralight and it was flying along, and what happened to that thing down by my place?
Oh, yeah. I do remember that. We were trying to buzz, I think it was Harold Stallhut.
Yeah?
He's planting some corn and lost a clutch. Took her down. Took me about 2 weeks to find that clutch in his field, but we got her.
There you go.
Some liquid fueling and all that kind of stuff. Stop over and see him. Miller's Light, Coors Banquet, PBR. Remember that, John? Lindenkrugel's Summer Shady, Red's Apple Ale, Henry's Hard Orange Soda, and Henry's Hard Ginger Ale. Just $3 each, or they'll sell you 7 for a $20 bill. Can't beat that no matter what.
All right, we're going to start on the tower side over here. That's going to be Kevin Smith with his John Deere, flirting with Deer Zaster. All right, here we go. Our first puller here, Kevin Smith. This is as close to a stock tractor as you can get, but it's far away also. But like I say, it has to be a stock chassis to start with, have a stock head on it, and under 640 cubic inches also. So Kevin Smith will be our test puller. We're going to run straight distance tonight, but anything over 330, if it gets down there too far, we could possibly have a pull off. But 300 feet is where we're going to try and stop him. Here we go with Kevin Smith. And he's looking good. Give him a round of applause down there. Kevin Smith is that 4455 John Deere.
I tell you what, John, that's a green machine which is coming down there.
Oh, man. Is that nice or what?
Yeah.
Now, he's our test puller down there. He has an option to come back and re-pull again if he thinks he can do better.
What's he going to do?
Yeah, we're going to see Earl Wiseman's down there, our finish line flagman.
I'll bet he takes it.
You going to take that, Earl? He's going to
Whoa,
drop.
he shot me down.
Oh.
He's going to give her another whirl. He said, hey, I did this one, that's good. The next one, look out.
Down here is going to be Kendall Houck out of Lynchburg, Indiana, called Nothing Special. Sled here tonight from near past bowling up in Coldwater, Michigan. I want to welcome that crew, Dan and his boys down there, and also Mark Bingham. It says his new sled down there, actually maybe a year or two old, called On the Mark. Kind of neat the way he named it after himself. Didn't name it after his wife, but they named it after himself, On the Mark. Right, Nothing Special down here, the Case IH. Here we go. Whoa.
Right.
Nice run there. Give him a round of applause now.
You remember that tractor we saw there, the iron wheel one in the parade out there? Just think how far they have come now. Look at that tractor out there right now and think about that iron wheel tractor that they used to run across the field.
All right, we'll get the distance down there. 284, 135. Give Kendall a round of applause as he comes off there. Our first Case IH, 284, 135. It's really pretty neat. We'll talk about some of the wrap and things on there as we get a chance later on. But he'll be our test bowler. All right, give him a round of applause. Now it's going to be interesting to see whether our first puller takes that. Also, our crack people, our officials, and the sled operators. Mark down there, he'll be talking to Greg Randall at the starting line. They'll decide whether the weight transfer set right or they want to look at one or whatever.
Yeah, there's a little...
Scott Webb, he's out of Beverly, Ohio, calls it the Raging Red. Light pro stock tractors, 8,500 pounds. These bad boys are weighing in at.
It's like a wife's trip. sir.
That's not good.
Something fell out from the bottom. Not
If
sure
there's
what it
oil
is.
with that parts, that's really bad.
Yeah.
From here, it looks like a beer can, but I know
Yeah.
that can't be what it is.
That's not good.
Unless the boys were wrenching on it back behind and forgot to put one away.
They're looking down there, Earl Wiseman or Flagman.
Picking some parts up.
Uh-oh, now I see other things. That could be bearings or something they're picking up.
We're trying to find out what kind of parts. 293-505. And I guess that should have been the name on the side of that H down there. huh?
Holy mackerel. I'm telling you, if the people from, what is it, security people, I don't know, the ones at the airport, what is
The
that?
Arcola Airport.
Yeah,
Arcola International?
no. Well, anyhow.
All right, a good run there for Dave. Dave Weiss out of Bronson, Michigan. Like I say, these guys are limited to 650 cubic inches. It has to be naturally aspirated. Be fuel injection. They can run on alcohol and such. And these are what they call some mountain motors down there. So they got a lot of cubic inches, but they don't have the blowers or turbochargers on them.
Can you imagine what I was trying to say here is Homeland Security. If there's
Oh, he's going to be down there, what, about 275 or so, Eric?
He's down our ways.
Okay. Dirty Deeds, Joe Moore, out of Three Oaks, Michigan.
I'll tell you, while we're waiting for that distance, again, make your way down to the Elephant Ears and the Full Pull Lounge. If you've been here year after year, you'll notice that we used to have some bark mulch down there. It used to get a little sloppy. Bailey Trucking came in and set us up, maybe 8, 9, 10, 11 loads of stone. They know how to lay it out there. Go check it out. Get yourself a beer and an Elephant Ear and enjoy the rest of the night.
All right, Joe Moore, 284.49, 284.49. Love the way these sound when they're backing in. It's got that little, just a little crisp sound down there. It's altogether different from the modifieds with the blowers, and of course the turbo trucks have their own sound altogether also.
That's because when they had them in Iraq, they didn't want anybody to recognize that, beeping up. We never back up.
And there you go for Greg Weitzel out of Union City. Give him a round of applause if you would. One thing about it, ladies and gentlemen, you think, well, you're asking for a round of applause, and the motor's still running, but these guys notice that because they actually can see their hands move, and they do appreciate that. They really do. International disaster. I hope it's not an international disaster. Here we go. Leading distance 293.50. And he's going to be down there about, looks like about 260 or so. What do you think?
Yeah, this looks about right, John. You know,
Give or
I'm
take 20 or 30 feet.
Give or take 20 or 30. You know, I'm just paying attention to some of these. Last night we were talking about some of these tires and the way they got them shaved. I've been noticing the four-wheel drive trucks, and these guys get to cut these tires however they want, I think.
Yeah, I'll tell you, take a set of tires and rims like that, a brand new set of tires is about $10,000.
$10,000.
Before
right?
they get them cut. Cost. Well, I was talking to Gary down there. He said my wrap was $3,500 because I got a really big discount on. And he said wraps like that run about $5,000. All right, give Gary Varner a round of applause. Varner family, they do really well with the four-wheel drive trucks. And if you go down to the Louisville, to the National Farm Machinery Show, you expect to see them down there every year. So Gary Varner out of Midway, Kentucky with fast brake, 278.22. 278.22. I had neck brace, but it'll be with a rope. All right, here is a nice run with our international down here. Drew Gillian out of Mount Sterling, Illinois. Load the wagon.
Well, like we say, we want to say special thank you to the Schaefer's Lawn and Turf Group down there. They're the starting line people. When everything takes off the starting line, it's Schaefer's Lawn and Turf. And from the tower up here, we want to say a special thank you to all the people.
Daryl Bonner, the stray dog. He also, like Gary, been 12 years since they've been up here together. He said, man, I can't believe the difference in the park. Well, we got an extra 34 acres and new lighting, new seating, a lot of extras. All right, give him a big Indiana welcome down here for Daryl Varner. Man, I like them flames that look good on my black truck too, wouldn't they, Dan?
Yeah, they probably would. Yeah. You'd stand out in the crowd, no doubt about it.
And a nice run for him. I think 278.65. 278.65.
6 for $5 or $1 a piece.
All right, here we go. Mike Palmer out of Greenville, Indiana with the Country Classic. All right, give him a round of applause, Mike Palmer. That's pretty neat. They have the Country Classic, and I got to look down here. The Red Avenger, and I think it was just last year, one wasn't pulling as good as the other. So Dan, they took the motor out of one, put it in the other. Just I don't know.
Run it.
Run it, yeah. It was
Yeah.
same class.
Let's see what happens.
They just put it in a different chassis. Still haul the same truck.
Telling you.
282.80, Greg Reitzel. There's the bone for you. Out of Harvard, Illinois, Tim Skelton. We do our run in Region 2, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, Illinois, and Kentucky, all in one region. They run for points within that area. The Grand National pullers cover the whole country. These pullers are running for points in those 5 states. Tim's distance, 269.32. For the bone, Tim Skelton, 260. Maybe we could win that, Dan, for our old age, I suppose.
I think Medicare gives you something like that.
we go, Sean Thorhill. And I think he's going to like that. Give him a round of applause. Our leading distance down there, Scott Webb at 293.50.
Don't forget the Lions Club got popcorn both sides of the tent. John, you got a distance here?
Yeah, wait for it to come across.
The Lions Club's got popcorn both sides of the track. The full pull lounge down there, Coors Light, Red Apple Ale, Henry's Hard Soda. They'll set you up down there. And you know, Moore Farm Store has been a great sponsor as well. They've got all your Kubota equipment, Toro, steel, bat.
Sometimes when you see somebody or even one guy pick up the back of the truck and kind of move it sideways when they need to. Give him a round of applause, Gary L. White, Centerburg, Ohio. Just a toy. And they sent us up from them deep fried pickles. Man, they were good. They're a little spicy.
Holy mackerel, I guess. I tried a couple of them. I said, hey, that's okay. Every year they come up with something brand new.
And they got a little ranch sauce to put on there.
Just $3. You can go over and you can have them.
Yeah, there you go. Get you stopped at the beer tent, and you got all kinds of different kinds.
Here to help the tractor pull and the firemen out. So big thank you to Mike and Kathy Butts.
That last distance for Gary White, 266.40, if you didn't catch that. Coming up here, Mike Palmer, the Red Avenger. All right, Mike looking good. Give him a round of applause. Earlier, Mike had a distance on the Country Classic. Got to look down, down here at 274.16. So got a little better distance this time. 294.23. 294.23. Give him a round. Hoosier State sanctioned the class back in 1985. Whoa. Calls it the Grain Hauling Mafia. They still got frustration down here on the lineup card. But that's the truck that wronged the Dave and Ruby Klosser. Like I say, they started pulling back. Actually, 1979 was the first year they pulled. What's the number on that, Eric? Can you read it?
John, we had this talk last night.
Huh?
We had this talk last night.
Oh, I don't think it's on there. It's either 4010 or 4020, probably. Doesn't say on the card.
It does say.
First liar has the best chance.
First one, yeah.
All right, Jason Fielman out of Eaton, Ohio.
No numbers on that track.
No numbers.
Keep it a secret.
But he updated, if you see the stripe, that's a later model stripe. That's not the original stripe on that, so that's what threw us off a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Take a whole lot less than that to throw me off. I'm glad you're up here.
Actually, it looked like the stripe on my John Deere lawnmower. I got an LX 279. I'll tell you another story about that here in a minute. Don Grant out of Greenwood. good job for Don Grant. I was kind of asking Don. I said, Don, you're getting on age. You're a little older than I am. He said, yeah, pushing 73. So he's getting up there kind of around your age there, Dan. 73 and some change.
Yeah, I'd rather
But listen to this,
pass
Dan.
that one. You
Listen,
know.
he still pours concrete for places like Walmart and some of these big businesses. His company comes in there and pours hundreds of thousands of cubic inches of concrete every year. Okay, just got the green flag. Busted budget. Okay, give him a round of applause. Jeff Usner out of Milroy, Indiana.
John, I just stopped down by the tower. We still got some of those Summit Shitty Chevrolet shirts. Both sides of the track, they're going quick, but it's buy one, get one free. They're going to throw in one for every Arcola tractor polo shirt you buy. Make sure you stop by. They're not going to last long.
Hey, we want to remind everyone that Union Township Fire Department has got their annual hog roast fundraiser. That's on Saturday, July the 30th, 2016, from 4 to 9. The Event and Fun Center at Pages Crossing. That's where they're going to have it. Meals are $8 adult. Children.
Light Pro Stock class here. And that's 296.06, Jeff Fusner. Our last puller down there. Jeff's out of Milroy, Indiana. Busted budget, 296.06. 296.06. Puts Mike Palmer down in the second spot. Mike at 294.23. Coming up on the far side, Ron Newell out of Lipsick, Ohio. Temporary Insanity. Ron's another one of our pullers that have been around forever. All right, put your hands together for Ron Newell. Former regional national champion out of Lipsick. Well, I'll tell you what, I ran right down the sideline. See if I can get something new. 291.94. 291.94. All right, here we go. Bob Campbell, the Green Gangster out of Rossburg, Ohio. For Bob Campbell, the Green Gangster. Used to pull in the Super Farm class and put a little bigger turbo on there and turn the tires a little harder. He's been a winner out here in the past. Bob Campbell.
Picking them up and putting them down at Arcola, the 2016 edition. You know, the winery at one time then across the street and two doors down was Buford's Barber Shop. Remember that, John? Stop in for a clip job, wasn't that what he said? Oh, yeah.
All right, 277.51 for Bob Campbell, 277.51. They didn't say, okay, but I'm pretty sure that's Paul driving tonight. They're out of Wauseon, Ohio. It's called For Play.
That's a good-looking truck.
It's a 1960 Chevrolet.
60.
Yep. Used to be orange back in the day, and Wayne Smith
Really?
was our first four-wheel drive truck. We pulled down by the pines, and these guys come over because everybody was saying, "Whoa, Wayne Smith, Wayne Smith, Wayne Smith," and these guys come over, and pretty soon they're going, "Wow, maybe there's more of these trucks around."
Well, they've been coming here for 35,
Oh, yeah.
40 years.
Yeah, they pulled when we were pulling east and west along the pines. So they got about, I know it's over 19, I think it's more than 20 national championships. Oh, and is Jim driving? Okay. All right, a good run there for Jim. They've been winner here a lot of times too in the past. Foreplay out of Wasion.
Hey, John, didn't that truck used to be orange? They had one called the
Yeah.
Salt Shaker,
That was the salt shaker.
one called the Pepper Shaker.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. 282.82, 282.82. $282.82 for Jim Holman out of Wasion. Fusler is our leader with Busted Budget. Mike Palmer in second at 294.23. There we go. We're Travis Hughes out of Liberty, Indiana. Give him a round of applause. Another line of the old style John Deere's. Probably 40-10, 40-20.
40-20.
Thank you to the great people from Summit City Chevrolet. John's going to tell you a little later on how he worked it all out that you can get one for nothing. Fact is, probably if you do his program, you can get for nothing, plus you get cash back.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
I'm telling you what.
It's so simple. 273.23. 273.23.
Summit City Chevrolet, you know where they're at, 5200.
2016 Chevrolet Jeff Smith out of Holland, Michigan, the lean meat machine. And the lean meat machine is they're one of the largest. The turkey farmers up there. Whoa, got a little bounce there. Didn't go over 100 feet. Going to get another attempt. That's the lean meat. The turkey farms from up there in Holland, Michigan. They're one of the largest turkey, I guess, I don't know if you call them growers or producers or whatever. All right, Jeff's backing in right now. We'll give him a second attempt.
We got the winner right here, the guy of the longest distance. He came all the way from Brazil. I'm talking Brazil, South America, to come up here and see what's going on. So as soon as we get this pull over right here, I mean this last one, we'll ask him a couple things. Shut off. He shut the engine off, so now we can ask him a couple things. Okay, tell me what your name is.
My name is Jonathan Bento.
Okay, sounds like a winner to me.
We need a tow.
And you've been up here from Brazil just to see that be up? Yeah, up. I'll work with you and work something out.
All right, here we go. Mark Wiederhold out of Clarksville, Ohio, Bare Necessity. All right, our Clarksville, Ohio puller out of Bare Necessities, Mark Wiederhold, and we'll get his distance here. Well, I tell you that 301.84 that Kevin Smith turned down first hook, that is back there thinking, man, we're getting down here at the end of the class. I could be the winner. I wouldn't even have to come back again. But we'll see how it plays out. 286.02 for Mark, 286.02.
Well, we told you about Big G's in Columbia City before. And
Ecklinger out of Holgate, Ohio, just passing through. Ted Skelton was our first puller in this class and turned down a 304.79. Both first pullers, Dan, that turned down their distances could be our leader so far. There you go. You just don't know, you know. All right, Earl's going to take a look at that and decide whether he was trying to shut down. Now, the marker's down there at 100 foot, but if your starting line flagman thinks that he's trying to shut down, you know, if he gets bouncing down there or whatever, we'll give him another opportunity. It looks like they're going to do that for Steve. Mark Bingham's doing our sled operator driving down there. Sled calling all the Mark out of Greenville, Ohio. Well, what happened, Dan was asking why he couldn't shut it down. He got to hopping a little bit, and he was kind of thinking, I'm thinking this, what he's thinking, is that if he tried to shut down too soon, the sled was getting some momentum behind it, and it could just bounce him in the back, and then it would be like a rubber band back here, back and forth. So sometimes you try to stay in a little bit to keep the chain tight, where you can kind of get it under control. So it's a flagman's decision down there. He kind of has an idea where he actually got out of the engine where, you know, and sometimes the guys can signal too. They'll signal the flagman, you know, give the hands down or whatever, say, hey, I'm trying to stop here, you know. Well, this will be a second opportunity then. That's all she wrote. And yeah, got a little bounce down there, but you only have 2 opportunities, so that's just the way it's going to be. And even though he was further the first time, he gave up the first pull to gamble that they could make it the second time, which normally you would.
Yeah, now they used to have 75 feet, right?
Yeah.
75 feet to shut down, now it's 100.
Yeah, back in the day it was 75 feet, but
The day.
yeah, it's been a few years ago. But we'll get Steve's distance here, 66.79. 66.79. Out of Fostoria, Ohio, called the Power Pound. One of the old style tractors. I think that's I want to see that's a 12 series. Not an international man, be able to see it on the side. Didn't make a whole lot of these. I think they only had them for 2 years. And Dan, I think Harold Stall's got one of them series that looks like that.
I think he's got something different. What's he got?
Yeah.
Well, he's got a couple, but I think he's got one of this series too. I want to say it's a 12 something. Boy, a lot of tires being, it might have been just a little heavy on the nose.
You know, you talk about that tractor Harold's got. He's got twin stacks out of it, and when he come with that tractor, everybody said, "Holy mackerel!" Everybody but his daddy. His daddy said, "What do we need that for?" And Harold says, "Well, you know, I kind of wanted it." And I think now that tractor, the price has gone up and up and up and up, and it looks clean, man. I tell you what. It's a nice looking machine.
284.54 for Gary Holman. 284.54. That's a 1206 series. That was only made for 2 years.
1206. Okay.
1206. Once again, at 284.54 coming up, the Midnight Raider. Jim Bosch out of West Olive, Michigan, the Midnight Raider. Jim's been a winner here in the past and done real well on the national circuit also. We'll get to see him upstate once in a while in Michigan and traveling around in some of the other states around the area. Just about all these guys are running top cubic inches. 650 cubic inches is what they're allowed to run in this class. Naturally aspirated, and they can run alcohol. No turbochargers or superchargers. Oh! Got a little bounce there, that's all right. Trying to set the tires there.
Not past 100 feet though. So
Not past 100.
gonna pull her back. Try her again.
Sometimes you get bouncing like that. Sometimes you can power through it. Just stay in it. Just hope for the best.
Level out.
You know, once you get a little more set, the transfer will pull it down in the front. Hope your tires will kind of take care of the bounce. And other times, you just keep on going, and all of a sudden, something happens. So it's, you know, it's a plus and a minus. You just don't know what's going to happen. I've seen it both ways. I've seen him level out and have a heck of a run. I've seen other times they go like, what was he thinking?
Right.
You know? Why did he not back out?
It's a matter of how long you hang on.
Yeah.
It's like running my Taurus through that water puddle on Hildbrand Road. You just, you know, do you stay on the throttle or not?
Right. You keep going, or
Keep going or not?
Go.
We'll let her go. Uh-oh.
Well, he tried to stay in it, but I think it got to the point where sometimes you just got to give it up. Give him a round of applause, Jim Bosch out here. We haven't seen him here for a few years. We want to welcome him back. The Midnight Raider out of West Olive. 78.62. 78.62.
Don't forget the young people from the Carroll FFA is out there buying, selling those 50-50 tickets. They're just $1 a ticket, or 6 of them for a $5 bill. And about halfway through, maybe a little bit more than halfway through.
And then we had to send some more stuff in, and we ended up winning anyhow, but it was kind of tense here for a while.
Yeah, because we're all expected to be the winner no matter what happens. And when you come back and say, well, you know, somebody out here in Nevada has got a brochure about like you, and we say, hey.
But I think that was some shady stuff too, because 2 of the people on their console that had to decide was from that same area. So
we sent ours back out with a $500 bill, and we won.
All right, here we go. Brad Overmeyer out of Monterey, Indiana, the stress test. go for Brad. Give him a round of applause. I tell you what, these tractors are beautiful, aren't they? It's no junk in these classes.
No, I'm telling you what, I see them every
limit.
time I see it. Golly, Neds, there are some nice looking tractors there.
John, you look at those tires; those are really shaved down. I'm just amazed at the difference.
Yeah. Well, the nice part is Arcola's been known as a good tractor pull, so we draw a lot of good equipment in here, a lot of good people, and it's just a nice time all the way around. So, talking about good people, we want to thank each and every one of you for.
He turned down a 304.79. Give him a round of applause, but it's
Rock.
not going to be enough. There's one of them things where do you pass or not? Do you pass or not? And I found out that probably 9 times out of 10 the guy's going to drop the hook because he's thinking, oh, I don't know, I could have done this, I could have done this. Track's going to change, and yada yada, and there he is at 277.51, 277.51.
Well, it's interesting to watch that tan come forward on the sled because he's always going to get him. At some points, he puts the hammer down, and unless you really got a lot of horsepower, he's got you.
The sled always wins. Always. Always. All right, Jeff Smith out of Holland, Michigan, the lean meat machine. And I see that brand new 2016 Chevrolet body. He already used up one attempt, so he's on. All right, Justin Wise out of Tiffin, Ohio. And it looks like Justin's going to be right up among the pullers, ending up right in that same area, around 260, maybe 270.
All right. Remember to get both sides of the track, your Arcola t-shirt. Summit City's got a free shirt for you while they last. Stop in and get that at the Elephant Ears, the Full Pole Lounge. Make sure you make your way there tonight.
He's trying down there.
There you go. That's an example of he stayed on it. He was bouncing, stayed on, smoothed out a little bit.
Yeah. Protect the Harvest is a sponsor out there, by the way. It's kind of cool to have a sponsor that probably paid for your graphics and gives you a couple of cases of beer on the side or whatever. Jeff Smith out of Holland, Michigan. Give him a round of applause as he goes back 278.68, 278.68.
Lynn said up there if he wins, we'll give him a free turkey. So since he raises thousands of them, I'm sure he'd be glad to have one.
291.94, 291.94. So, like I say, Ron's been pulling since the early 80s, I know. Maybe even before that. But Ron Newell is your winner at 291.94. All right, Wesley Spencer out of Greenville, Ohio with the Bushwhacker. Give
right.
him a round of applause. A nice one. He's riding around 275 too.
Yeah, he's got her dialed in pretty good.
Wesley Spencer out of Greenville. A lot of pullers around the Greenville area. You know where Greenville is.
Go Ohio?
Yeah, down south, down off of 127. Get past her a lot of times. 286.25, 286.25.
All right. You know another one of our sponsors, Ace Tent.
Temporary Insanity. Second spot goes to the Holman Brothers at 282.82. In third spot goes to Ron Weitzel at 282.80. Fourth spot goes to Dave Weiss, 280.09. Fifth spot goes to Daryl Barner at 278.26. Sixth spot goes to Jeff Smith at 278.68. Seventh goes to Ted Skelton, 277.51. Eighth goes to Ted Skelton at 269.32. Ninth to Chris Taylor at 266.99. And 10th goes to Gary White at 260.40. Looking good, Dick
Man.
Starholder.
I'll tell you,
Waldron.
those mini rides, that is something to see.
Now these are test puller. Dick Starholder's distance. What was Dick's distance here? I looked down. .276.71 with a distance, 276.71. And that's our last puller in the class. Give him a round of applause. Kevin Smith, flirting with Deer Zaster. All right, coming up now, Ken Bolemeyer out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Ken's the one that was on fire here, burning up our netting. All right, give Ken a round of applause. I imagine he had to be a little apprehensive. He's the guy that got down here, got sideways, ended up on the guardrail, right down in front of the TV or the K105 sign, burned a hole in it. What happened when it rolled over, the injectors, it opened it up, and the motor took off and raced a little bit, and then the fuel went all over. It was quite a deal.
I'm just thinking we need to get him down to see Don Harder put a blade on the front of that thing for the winter. See if we can clear out Fisher Road.
Yeah, he could clear out Walmart in an hour and 10 minutes.
All right, we're going to change the setting on the sled. Ken Bolemeyer at 270 and 40. So we're going to lighten that up a little bit. All right, give him a round of applause. Tim Ray, he's from Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania.
Wicked sensation.
Slippery Rock, yeah, I'm serious. Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. Tim Ray, he's been a winner here. Calls it Wicked Sensation. Yeah. So they've lightened the weight transfer up a little bit. I think they're going to get out there a little further, obviously. 288.76. 288.76 for Tim Ray out of Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. 288.76. Again, the instigator, Dave Curtis. Might have been a little heavy on the nose there for Dave. The instigator. Set there behind 575 cubic inches, and the transmission's right there underneath your kneecap, and you're sitting on that forward rear end that's been totally going through. Or whatever rear end they got. A lot of them use
I'm
that
just
back in the
worried
day.
it isn't my rear end that he's get totally going through. You know, that'd be the big thing. She'd take off, there'd be a flash of fire. Now, I'm not talking about the machine, it'd be me. You know.
All right, the distance there, did it come up yet? Dave Curtis. $2:17.35. Max. John's been a regional and Hoosier State champion several times before. Got Mike, he's our, Mike Fibers, he's our crew man and a do-it-all man. Where Mike's at down there? Oh, Mike's down at the other end, I see him. Hey, buddy. Okay. All right, here we go. John Pfeiffer will be our test puller here. This is the 8,000-pound super stock class. They can run 1, 2, 3, or 4 turbos. 3 stages, 4 turbos, and a whole lot more horsepower. And it's about 260 and some change there for John. Give John a round of applause. He's our test puller. They may want to take a look at that set. I don't know. They might want to lighten that a little bit. We're just guessing on that, right?
I'll tell you, another note we got here is Defiance Fairgrounds, Hicksville, Ohio. Friday and Saturday, Friday and Saturday after Labor Day weekend, Advanced Chassis Holiday.
Well-oiled machine. You might kind of wonder what kind of horsepower these guys, so on the average run about 2,500 horse. As you're sitting there locked around your knees and sitting on their rear end. 575 cubic inches is the max, but boy, I tell you, when you're flowing some air through there, they're turning some pretty good horsepower. Give Zach a round of applause. He may be a new leader, really close to it. Maybe just a little bit short. Zach Zimmer out of Oakdale, Pennsylvania.
I'll tell you, those guys sitting, I mean, they're 3 feet away from 10,000 RPM. That is a dangerous, dangerous sport right there, and they run it. It's fun to watch.
All right, it's about 45 minutes or miles. 45 minutes north of Detroit. Yeah. Give Dave Lacey a round of applause. He was a winner here last year on one night. The team has 2 of these tractors down there. Thetford, Ontario. Dave Lacey. Tim Ray at 288.71. There's your new leader. Give him a round of applause, please, for David Lacey, our new leader, 308.63. 308.63. Oh, it's JD's driving tonight, not Mark.
JD in the JD? Well, that works out pretty good.
So it's not Mark, it's JD Weeder Oak out of Clarksville, Ohio. Give him a round of applause. He's down a lot on horsepower because take Johnny Pfeiffer's tractor out there with 4 turbochargers. This is one of our light pro tractors that jumped in the class, and sometimes they can do pretty good. Snag a couple of spots there, maybe make some money. So J.D. Wiederold out of Clarksville, 272.05, 272.05. Well, that's not good.
Yeah.
Might have blown ahead on that one, Dan. We're checking it out right now. It looked like it came out of the front. If they did, they might have torched the head on that.
Well, there's no parts on the track.
No part. That's a good
No
sign.
parts on the track. No oil.
Something
No oil.
on the top there. Give Randy a round of applause while he's out there. Hopefully it's not anything real serious. A lot of times when you see fire like that, it looks real serious. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it isn't. It came out of the front, but if you see something coming out of the bottom, every time that's serious.
Yeah.
Every time.
Well, we want to have all our seller tickets for the 50-50 come up the tower. We're all done, so come on up here so we get the money tallied up and have a drawing, find out who the winner is. So 50-50 sellers up to the tower.
Dan, I just saw the replay of that, and if you see the white fire that's white, that's usually a sign that they've torched an aluminum head. So I saw that. Give her another round of applause out there. It's going to be done for a while. .308.63, I think, was it? Right, that was Larry Getz. Larry Getz out of Bradner, Ohio, with an Ohio Harvester. All right, we'll get the distance down there for Larry. Larry's been pulling a long time, too, from over there in Ohio. 253.15, 253.15. So J.D. Weeder, Harwood, and the Bare Necessities, 272.05, 253.15 for Larry Getz. We're back in the mini rods. And this is Tom Boltman out of Zeeland, Michigan with stress relief. that's the way you do it. Woo! Yeah! Todd Boltman out of Zealand. Up and away!
Wow, I'll tell you.
If we'd have had our full pull distance down there, if he gets over 330, if we have over 330, we'd have a pull off. But it's running
320, 950.
320.95.
320.95.
Give him a round of applause. Now that's the way you do it. 320.95. All right, looking good. Sean Thornhill out of Greenville.
4 turbochargers. John, I was just looking up, just for the heck of it, I was looking up my wife's truck. She's got a 2008 F-250. Got the 6.4, 2 turbos, $2,800 a piece if I get a rebuilt. These guys got 4 of them.
That's not good. That's another one of our pullers from Ontario. This is David Lacey. Earlier we had David Lacey also. I guess he's driving both of them. But, I don't know. I want to see the replay on that one. Give him a round of applause. He's got some problems down there. Not good, but he may be in second spot. $298.29 for Dave Lacey. $298.29. Let's see, that'll put him, and David Lacey's in second at 308.63. Tom Boltman, our leader, at 320.95. $298.29 will put him in third spot. Kim Parabrack out of West Salem, another deer. We set the weight transfer, but he's definitely going to be our new leader. Give Kim a round of applause out there, please, for Kim Parabrack. Here we go, our next mini rod. Ed Johnson. No. All right, Kevin Bratmiller out of Hoagland, the Walt Ass Express.
All right, give him a hand.
That's the only... It's the only time I get to say that. Oh, he's down there pretty good. Kevin Bratmuller out of Hoagland. Out of Alliance, Ohio. All right, we'll see what Earl says on this. Just a little bit of extra alcohol burning off down here. And the distance for Ed Johnson, 183.38. 183.38. Couple of years. You get a chance if you come back tomorrow or even later on, you want to walk around and want to, wait for the crowd to thin out a little bit. It's going to have a whole different sound with the twin turbochargers. Whoa.
Well, John.
Might have popped a turbo now. See, you got to remember they got the turbos and the turbo hoses and all the other things on there. And he was building some pretty good boost. Here comes Dad walking across there. Jason backing in. Jesse doing the driving and Jim doing the hooking up this time. But that's the first time out with that new tractor. It's a new configuration they've been working out all winter. Let's give a round of applause for the Webb team out there, if you will.
Big thing, there's nothing on the track there. No oil, no parts.
No. I think we popped the hose. I'm guessing on that. Oh. It's a Dodge. Dodge with the lights on.
The Dodge with the lights on. Okay, a Dodge Ram 2500. Turbo diesel, of course. It's dark red. License is
Whoa, looking good down there. Russell Bosler, Jr. out of Liberty.
Again, make sure you make around, see our good sponsors. On the east side of the track there.
Mini rod tractors, if it gets a little twist in, or they don't take it off and put it back on the sled right after each run, because the tether line stays with the sled. So, and also they got to make sure it stays in. Now, a lot of them run a switch that's kind of similar to plugging your light in. So when it comes out, it shuts the engine down. Now, in your super stock tractors and the diesels, it's a little bit different, because what they do, instead of a kill switch turning their ignition off, they have a spring-loaded outfit, and what it does, if the wire's pulled, it pulls the pin, and then the cover snaps shut.
Restricts the air.
Right.
Shuts her down. Yeah. We talk about safety too, and like I say, John, you've been doing this for many, many years. I think I remember a couple decades ago when the kill switch came about, the roll cage. Here at Arcola, it's been 62 years of pulling, and I can remember a good 35 of them.
Yeah, a lot of the
lot's
things have
changed.
just come along, And usually, like anything else, they have a reason for, like the roll cage. Boy, the guys fought the roll cages. They didn't want to build roll cages. They didn't want the extra weight and nada. And after they saw a couple of them that did one wheel and roll over, I mean, you go to YouTube, you can see, you know, tractor accidents and things like that. And you say, oh, man, it's a good thing they had that roll cage on there.
Well, I don't know if it was it last year or year before we had one of the mini rods come down here, ended up on its side. Do you remember right out about here, 200?
No, there's the hole right there.
Well, that's it, yeah.
Caught when it hit the side, it rolled over and it hit the throttle, and the engine took off, and there was, you know, it was trying to run wide open. They pulled the kill switch, but they got in the fuel was hot down there. Started on fire, and that's why we have that hole in the net down there. All right, Keith Middleton trying to get her wound up down here. Almost sounds like a two-cylinder John Deere for a while. There we go. Well, there you go, Keith Middleton. And if you're looking at an angle, I can see the turbochargers down there, and the intake are red hot. I don't know.
Hot.
I mean, he's building some heat in there. I saw it through the little vent down there. But give him a round of applause, Keith Middleton. Building a lot of boost, probably well over 200 pounds, as they're trying to force that fuel and that air through. Well, that's not good. After he had a nice run before we reset the sled, but put your hands together for him, if you will. Dick Storholder out of Waldron, Michigan. Doggone it. Well, it doesn't look like it's major, but like I say, we can't see until they pull the tractor out of the way.
You know, John, we never finished your math though on this Chevy.
Oh, I'm gonna do that at break time. We're gonna take a little break here right before the last class, just to give you a chance to walk around, stretch your legs, and hit the portalettes down here. Make one last run through our concession stand. It's not gonna be very long. Just a chance to let us stretch our legs a little bit. I got to get out of the tower and move a little bit, or I'm going to be stoved up here.
We got to give away a little money too during that time.
And we're going to give away money. 97.53 was Jesse Webb. They're not coming back. Is that right? Or is that? No, that was Dick. That was Dick Storholder. Yeah, 90. What was it? 97.53. Well, give him a round of applause down there while he's going off. We hope that's not anything real serious. We didn't see any white flame coming out. We don't see any oil down there. Hard telling what that was. It's just so many variables. All right, here we go. It's going to be one of our Alki tractors. Keith Wellnow from Monroeville, Ohio. You're not going to see that smoke. If we see smoke, it doesn't belong here. Our alky burning tractor. Yeah, just a little oil smoke coming up there. Well, there we go.
All right.
Got a little bit of alky burn off down there. You're going to look down there. One thing about it, if it catches on fire underneath the hood, they can't see it. So they're going to be real careful when they open the side shields up. Might have just popped a turbo down there on the side. I didn't see any oil. Makes them nervous, though.
First thing you look for is parts. No
Yeah.
parts.
Give Heath Well now a round of applause out there. He's looking around to make sure he didn't have any problems under there, to make sure. They also got to make sure if something happens that they don't have an alcohol fire under there, as I said a little bit. And they're real careful about running up to do anything. So sometimes when you don't have hot parts, but you got that fire burning down there, you know, it's the same way with NASCAR and whatever down, not NASCAR so much because they don't run the alcohol, but you get some of the other. Ken Boldemeyer Jr., this is their, the tractor that they ran the last few seasons. Ken's out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Way flip side. This is the tractor that we had on the guardrails, burnt the hole in there last year.
All right.
Is plowing the dirt, Ken Boldemeyer Jr. Not bad for their old tractor.
Not bad.
Ken Boldemeyer Sr. had a 3:02:06.
All right, we got the distance here.
And he's in third spot with that. 3:01:06. 3:01:06. Call it. Well, in fact, I didn't look on my sheet, but I'm thinking they're either defending champion or number 2 in the nation on the Grand National Circuit. I might have to do my homework tomorrow. I don't know it all, Eric. Only 99%.
Well, you know how you can get a truck for free, right? We haven't gone through that math yet.
Yeah, I know how I can put you in the truck for.
Well,
I shouldn't say free.
You shouldn't say free, but
no out of the pocket expenses if you do it right. All right, here we go. Lock and load. 4 turbochargers, over 3,000 horsepower. And that, folks, is why they are the national champion.
Let's give them a hand.
That's the way you do it. Give another round of applause down there. That's going to be hard to beat. Well, I'll tell you what, when they say lock and load, they're not kidding. 3:18.78. 3:18.78. Shoot, that's good for another round of applause. How about that?
All
We're
right.
not done yet, but 3:18.78, that's going to be real hard to beat.
A great pull.
Not impossible, but it's going to be hard. Was it the Buckeye Bandit? Boy, is that cool looking or what?
Oh, that is beautiful.
One thing about the bright tractors, Eric, they're very photogenic.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
guys with the
Absolutely.
the cameras and stuff, they said, man, that black tractor looks really cool in the daytime, but you can't see it at night.
Right. No, that is a beautiful
and,
tractor.
And then they have guys that have black tractors and they complain, I never get my picture in the Polar magazine. There's never this or, hey, you can't see it,
Paint it yellow.
You can see that. That's about as yellow as that pickup truck I drove for a long time.
That's right, yeah. I think you won a couple events in that, didn't you?
You're talking about John and Kevin or what?
Well, yeah. I remember the yellow one. 3 on the tree, C10.
Yeah.
Well, yours was an auto.
350.
Yours was an auto, wasn't it?
350 automatic. See if we can get the boost built. See if we can put the hold on lock and load down there. Now that didn't sound good.
No.
The pop part wasn't so bad, but I didn't like the sound of the rest of it.
What do you think we got here, John? Though I mean, there's no damage.
Well, there's so many variables. The turbocharger could pop. A big thing is they build so much boost, and then you got the clamps and what have you. And the
let
lines
loose,
that go
yeah.
through the turbochargers, and they're under pressure all the time. But by golly, I tell you, that's a sharp-looking tractor. Put your hands together there for Barry Eckler out of Greenville. 185.80. Saying they couldn't do that? They can't. The ignition can't fire through the compression.
Is that right?
Is that right?
120 pounds.
That's
though.
why they have a lot of this turbo stuff then, right? They can't keep the fire going, is what it amounts to. Yeah. Wow. Really tiny spark plugs. Lynn's giving us all the info on them, but they're real temperamental.
Yeah. It's
as far as the atmosphere and barometric pressure and whatever.
Whoa! All right.
Oh, man, he had a run going. They worked on that all winter, and this was the first time out.
Is that right?
Well, give him a round of applause out there. Oh, my gosh, the first run out, you put all those hours and dollars, and they were coming hard. I mean, that was going to be a run that could be a top 3. He had her up on the wheelie bars, and he
running
was
on down there.
cooking. Wow. Jesse Webb. Jesse's out of Huntertown. Jesse's one of the coaches in one of the sports there. I think one of the girls' sports, if I'm not mistaken. 220 even. Give another round of applause down there. Doggone it.
All right.
He was coming, and I was thinking, because I know these guys, I've been around them for a long time, I thought, they've got their S together on this one.
There you go. You know, he might have bought one of those 50-50 tickets, though. He might be okay here. What do we got? We got
In Michigan, 320 and 95. And second spot goes to Dave Lacey out of Thetford, Ontario, Canada, 308.63. Third spot goes to Kevin Boltmeyer, and his distance 3:02.06. That's Ken Senior. Fourth goes to Ken Jr., 3:01.06, and fifth goes to Dave Lacey, 2:98.29, and sixth goes to Tim Ray, 2:88.76. Seventh goes to Zach Zimmer, 2:85.28. Eighth goes to Jesse Webb at 2:20 even. Ninth goes to Dave Curtis at 2:17.35, and 10th goes to Randy Fendermaker at 1:90 and 93. All right, this is our last puller in the 8,000 and 8,300 class. All right, it's John Pfeiffer. Give him a round of applause from Connorsville, Indiana. Pfeiffer Max, he calls it. All right, we'll get that distance and we'll put it in our computer down here. 284.74, 284.74 for John Pfeiffer.
Good pull.
284.74.
All right.
Saw him, John Pfeiffer, and his distance 284.74. In fourth, he goes to Heath Winnell, 282.19. Fifth goes to Sean Thornhill at 278.47. Sixth goes to Joe Wiederhold, J.D. Wiederhold, 272.05. Seventh goes to Russell Boulder at 255.35. Eighth goes to Larry Getz, 253.15. Ninth goes to Ed Johnson with the Big Johnson at 183.38. And 10th goes to Barry Idler at 165.8.
Whoa, whoa. All right. Got a little bumpy there, John.
All right, Alan Judy got a little bounce down there. He's out Germantown, Ohio, calls it the Raptor. All right, here's the test puller. So he got a little bounce down there. Let's give Alan Judy a round of applause, though. He's coming back. That's not a big deal. He's going to make some adjustments. Might have been, might have to, see, one of the things about these guys, if they don't run any weights on the front, they want to adjust their drawbar, you know, up or down. They can't go over the limit, but they can get it down a little bit to try and control some of that bounce.
Yeah, you know, John, I think, you know, you look at that bouncing and you got a drawbar height that you got to stay set at. Depending on the cut of your tires and your weight positioning, I think that's contributes a lot to that hopping.
Oh, yeah. But like I say, if you can't get the nose up in the air, you're not going anywhere. So you got to set the tires, got to get them planted and get them going. So I'm sure that he's not going to take that distance, or I wouldn't think he would. $526 apiece. All right, he'll be back. Give him a round of applause, though. He's our test puller out there. They've been pulling tractors for 46 years.
46
years.
46
They've run
years.
over 20 state national championships combined. And they ran twice this week, finished in the third spot actually last night. Marion, Ohio took a third last night. Got a win here last year on Friday night, if I'm not mistaken. So it runs pretty good. Ken Miller out of Bellevue, Ohio.
All right.
Yeah, we might have a little heavy on this one. I'm not sure, but we always have the first couple of tractors a chance to reset the weight transfer. Look like it might be a little bit heavy. I'm not saying how old Ken is, but I'm 68 years old, and he's a few years older than me, and he's still running that modified. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the guys, even the younger guys, have younger people that go along and, you know, throw weights or do something. And it's just Ken and Judy.
Right.
They go around, and they got their semi down there. Give them a round of applause, if you will, down there for Ken Miller out of Bellevue, Ohio.
You know, John, I look at that last night. Of course, we had the
And he starts a third one to RPMs at 800. And then he'll get all three of them winded up to about 2,000 or 20,000 RPMs. And at that point, he's holding the brakes, and then he goes. Now listen to this. That thing holds 27. Each one holds 27 quarts of oil, the special oil. And it's a soybean oil. You can't use regular oil. Now listen to this. Over in Vietnam, they call them gooks over there, but the Vietnamese would steal their oil and want to cook with it. But the thing with it is, they've got warnings and cross skulls on there. It's so toxic, he has to wear a safety suit to put oil in this thing. I'm serious now.
and they're cooking.
Yeah, and they were trying to cook with that stuff. I mean, we were doing it all wrong. We should have just sold them all this oil for their aircraft engines, you know? Say, here, cook with this, boys.
Cook it up.
See, now remember, this thing's in gear. It's already in gear. There's no neutral. So as soon as he gets up to the top RPMs, lets off the brake and away he goes. Okay, he's sitting there. It's in gear. He's ready to go. As soon as he gets wound up, he gets up there at about 18 to 20,000 RPMs, and he'll be ready to roll. Trafalgar. See, now he gets down the other end, he's got to shut it down. That's it.
That's it.
He's got to shut it
In gear.
completely off. In gear. Now it starts up the little S10.
Got the piston engine backing it up. Going to drive off under the piston, probably.
Yeah. So give Don Dean a round of applause. He's our first puller in the class. He's got the option of coming back where he can take that. We've taken, 2,000 out? 2,000 out of the car down there. So
All right.
now down there, he don't need his tow tractor, nothing.
He's going to drive it off under that piston engine.
Yeah, it's a little S10.
Well, I'll tell you what, while you're watching.
Well, they were down in North Carolina running with the NTPA out there, and that's where they took the motor out. That's why that front one's the cast motor. It's kind of like their donor motor right now. All right. Oh, we saw. What did we lose down there?
Something. We lost something.
Well, we took a blower belt out, I can see that, but it burped something. Usually,
Is it carrying a belt?
yeah, the guys will say, oh my gosh, it's a blower belt, but
Blower
usually what will happen is that you had some kind of an internal problem. The timing gets out or that burps it, and then it just throws the blower belt out.
Okay, so
and it's, the blower belt usually keeps on ticking. This guy's been around a long time. I remember back when they had one of the first 4-engine Hemis, Naturals, when they wedges, Chryslers, yeah. Before they had 6 on there one time, not on this tractor, but one of their older ones. Kevin's telling me they had up to 7 engines on their tractor at one time. Give him a round of applause. Wayne Bunnage. And if you see a lot of room back there, he can run that in the light unlimited class in the 6,000, but they've got 2 motors back there in the hauler. And if they run on Grand National, they can run all 4 of them. So give him a round of applause out there. He's running it hard, Wayne Bunnage. So we've got about 2,000 pounds of extra weight down there where the other motors would go. 253.72. 253.72. So if you want to keep things going, they also have another 4-engine mod. So how would you like to change spark plugs in that? Yeah, you got 3 over the top and 3 on the bottom. 4 on the bottom and 4 on the top. That's right. Double decked them. And he set right on the front end. Boy, I'll tell you what, that was exciting. Now he's setting this up for the light unlimited for the 6,000 pound class, but normally you run in the 7,500 pound class, he'd run both of his engines, so he's got another engine back there that he runs in this combination also. All right, so this is the first time he's run this combination. He's trying to get it dialed in to run over Fort Recovery in that light unlimited class, the Grand National class. Got to borrow a rear end in there with a different ratio in the back, so this is the first time he's tried this combination. We'll see how it works out for him. Well, he's got her hot, that's for sure. Dwayne Bergman, like I say, he's trying to get this thing dialed in. It's the first time run. He's trying to get it dialed in, and he wants to run that light unlimited class. But that's only 6,000 pounds, so. It's a twin turbocharged on alcohol. Dwayne Bergman, 2:14.23, 2:14.23. All right, Chris Shoemaker out of Union City, Indiana, cashing the trash. And Kevin up here was telling me that Dwayne Bergman was running light in that class, actually 1,500 pounds light, because he's trying to get that dial in for that 6,000 pound class, so he only weighs 6,300. These guys are all weighted up to 7,500. We got 3 motors, each one about 2,500 horse. I should have said he can run 3 motors. Give him a round of applause, though, Chris Shoemaker out of Union City, Indiana. Had a nice run there. Get to see these guys sometimes. They're running 3, 4, 2, whatever. I made a little mistake there, but Chris Shoemaker. And the distance coming up. 290.93. 290.93. That was Ryan Weissel. And this is Ryan Stahl out of Columbia City. These are 3 wedge blown engines, 526 cubic inches apiece. Talk about the Hemis and stuff. These are the wedge configuration. The Chrysler wedge. And there went a blower belt. But now that's still a pretty decent run for getting down there to running on 2 engines when you got just past the 200. had a nice run going. It really did. They were down there working earlier, and I don't remember which engine it was. 263.38. $263.38, but they were down there.
2 Allison aircraft.
All right. Oh, so here's the scoop on this. 1,710 cubic inches. It's turbocharged with alcohol, but the back motor is one that they just had a spare motor. It's not even hopped up or anything.
Well, we all got a spare Allison aircraft engine.
So they could put that back in a P-52 and take off and fly with it. I mean, it's just a stock
engine.
boneyard 1,710 cubic inch motor. The front one now has had some extensive work done to it. So, but they are hooked together down there through the transfer box. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Well, I don't know what happened there. The back one was still running, and I'm not sure about the front one.
Do you get a mismatch there since the back one's bone stock and?
Don't know. I don't know. You wouldn't think so. All right, they're saying he was backing down. Even though we burped it there at the end, we want to keep the chain tight. So we're going to give him that second opportunity. All right, there you go. Not bad for 2 mismatched motors, huh?
Yeah, not bad.
I love the sound of that. $287.63. $287.63. All right, Alan Judy. Had to take a couple thousand pounds out of the weight transfer. Had some pretty good wins last year on the Elysian View. Getting a lot of wheel hop. And 138.88 for Alan Judy. One thing about it, it stayed in it. He tried to power back out of it, but just couldn't pull it off. Got the wheel hopping down there, and he got past the one thing about it, Judy, one thing about her tow tractor, it's got air.
Air.
I was leaning in there talking to her a little bit, and I was like, man, this is all right.
This is all right.
These guys are driving these John Deere tractors and
you can make
all the old styles, and she's sitting in the air.
You can make fun of me if you want, but
Yeah, put the windows down and the back gates up, but I'm sure she's got the air on. Oh, I can see some sparks down there. We're starting. Hope that's not something serious. Did you see that, Eric? See some sparks in that
No, I didn't.
middle engine
I did not see that.
in the drive line.
What we got here?
You want Judy to come back? That's not a good sign.
Uh-oh.
Judy, come back.
Turn the AC on, back her up. Sparks are off the starter. Starter.
He's done. He's done.
We got all that
All right.
horsepower dependent
Well,
on
it looks
the
like Don
starter.
Dean's going to be our winner then. Put your hands together for Don Dean. He can hear you down there. He's our winner at first spot. Second spot. And Don Dean's at 3:08.87. Second spot goes to Ryan Reitzel at 2:90 and 93. Third spot goes to Anthony Schmiesing, 2:87.63. Fourth spot goes to Ryan Stahl, 2:63.38. Fifth spot goes to Wayne Bunnage, 2:53.72. Sixth spot goes to Mike Schiedemann, 2:22.36. Seventh goes to Wayne Bergman, 2:14.23. Eighth spot goes to Alan Judy, 1:38.88. Ninth spot, and they'll still get credited for ninth spot, Ken Miller, as he's unhooked to the sled. Well, give Ken Miller and Judy a round of applause out there. They were coming off a really good placing last night. Come on, put your heads together for them. They had a win here on Friday night last year, so it's well capable of getting things done. So that's going to wrap it up here from our sponsors and all the people that helped out. We really appreciate it. I'm going to head back down Felker Road. Toot when you go by, Eric.
I'm going to go by.
Yeah,